Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Friday, May 15th. I'm Wayne Pratt. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives are expected to vote today on another coronavirus stimulus package. The $3 trillion HEROES Act would extend unemployment benefits through January and give people stimulus payments of up to $1,200. A new task force in Illinois will focus on getting students on college and university campuses in the fall. Members will explore several issues to help the institutions reopen safely. That includes how often classrooms would need to be cleaned and how residence halls can meet public health guidelines. Catholic dioceses in Illinois have developed a phased-in plan to reopen churches. Each will have to certify that they have implemented public health requirements before large services take place. The plan follows guidelines from the Illinois Department of Public Health and Governor J.B. Pritzker's office. The St. Louis Public Library will resume swapping books June 10th. The library says its drop boxes will be available for returns June 1st, and some branches will reopen for checking out books roughly a week later. 6 locations will open June 10th. Here are the numbers. In Missouri, there have been more than 10,300 COVID-19 cases out of nearly 127,000 tests. State health officials report more than 560 deaths. Illinois reports nearly 88,000 cases out of more than 510,000 tests. There have been nearly 4,000 deaths in the state. In just a few minutes, St. Louis Public Radio's Ryan Delaney reports on the digital divide of remote learning, especially during the pandemic. As we mentioned, a task force is being formed in Illinois with the goal of making sure students can return to colleges and universities in the fall. They were forced to take learning online in March because of COVID-19. Bill Wheelhouse reports.
A number of leaders of private and public schools are going to try to figure out how the schools can host students in the fall. Ginger Ostro, Executive Director of the Board of Higher Education, is leading the committee.
But what are the key questions that we need to answer, and how do we provide guidance to our institutions in making those decisions?
Ostro says the questions range from how to offer larger courses to maintaining social distancing in dorms. The goal is to meet the guidelines the governor has set out. They hope to have recommendations soon. I'm Bill Wheelhouse.
St. Louis University is also planning for the fall as it copes with the pandemic. It will no longer require applicants to submit standardized test scores to be accepted. SLU says it is waiving its SAT or ACT requirements starting for students enrolling in 2021. It's a 3-year pilot program. More than 1,000 colleges and universities in the country do not require standardized tests anymore. Southern Illinois University Carbondale dropped that requirement in December. Catholic dioceses across Illinois say they have developed a phased-in plan to reopen the denomination's churches in the coming weeks. That plan follows guidelines from the Illinois Department of Public Health and Governor J.B. Pritzker's office.
We advised them when they asked us for our advice, and that was it. And I'm actually very pleased. I think they did an excellent job with the plan that they put forward.
Illinois Catholic churches are allowed to gradually reopen for limited private services. Each church will have to certify that they have implemented public health requirements before larger services are held once again. That includes holding webinar trainings for certain volunteers. Governor Pritzker says leaders from other denominations have been in touch about their own reopening plans. In other news, it is the last scheduled day of the Missouri legislative session. As lawmakers work against that deadline, they have sent a transportation bill to the governor. Some provisions include allowing for renewing a driver's license remotely and the creation of a digital driver's license. The Missouri Department of Revenue will be in charge of creating a system for those digital licenses where people can access their license from a mobile device. The digital license will be accepted for all purposes where a card-based license can be used. The proposal was sponsored by Justin Brown, a Republican from Rolla. School has been taking place online for nearly 2 months in most of Missouri, but about a fifth of children in the state do not have a strong enough internet connection to bridge the digital divide. St. Louis Public Radio's Ryan Delaney reports.
For several weeks in March and April, instead of buses dropping kids off at school, gloved and masked teachers stood in their parking lots, handing out computers to families, not even stepping out of their cars.
You have the email address and internet and all that good stuff? Okay, all right. Have fun, Joey. We miss you, bud.
For Hancock Place, about 1 in 10 families of the South County District don't have internet, so the district gave out preloaded PBS Kids tablets in late April. How many computers schools had to distribute and how quickly they did varied widely district by district. Wealthier ones needed just a few days after schools closed. St. Louis Public Schools was still trying to get computers in families' hands this month. And as weeks of online learning drag on, how often students are logging on to do schoolwork is slipping. Take, for example, Rittner, a district in northwest St. Louis County. Chris Kilbride is the superintendent.
On a weekly basis, it ranges from a high of 55 hours in a week down to a low of 40 seconds.
At the high end, one elementary school in the more affluent Webster Groves district reported 98% engagement of students. It's a different picture in other parts of St. Louis, in part because high-speed internet access is less common in northern and southern parts of the county, and within the city, nearly half the homes on the north side lack strong internet. Only 15% of St. Louis Public Schools families said they had enough technology at home for kids to conduct online learning there. So the SLPS Foundation spent $100,000 buying more tablets and hotspots for the other 85%. Lynn Weeks doesn't have internet at home, so she tracked down 2 iPads and an internet hotspot from SLPS so her 4 children, who all attend Ashland Elementary School, can get online to do remote learning.
But still wasn't enough for me because I have 4 kids and they only fit 2, and of course 3 out of 4 of the kids go on at the same time, so one's out and missing out of their lesson for the day.
The level of instruction happening online right now doesn't match up with a normal school day. University City Superintendent Sharonica Hardin-Bartley says that risks leaving students who were already below grade level permanently stuck there.
To think that they will be out of school technically for 6 months is daunting because those delays are going to be even more significant.
U-City handed out hundreds of computers for its 2,600 students, nearly all of whom are considered low income.
We have closed the digital kind of barrier. We provided Chromebooks, but if you're a first grader and you have no parental support at home, that Chromebook doesn't do you much good.
Parent Lynn Weeks is doing all she can. She often looks over the shoulder of King, her youngest, who has a learning disability, to make sure he's on track or to check in with his teacher. But she also has her 3 girls.
It's a little bit hard because when I'm stuck there with all 4 of them, trying to keep them all on track and not fall behind, it's a little hard because 2 out of the 4 have fallen behind.
Weeks is hoping to return to work as a nursing assistant soon. It will be longer before her children return to a classroom.
So I'm trying to hold up the best I can I have crying days. I cry maybe 3 or 4 days out the week because it's just a lot.
But Weeks says as long as the school provides the internet access, she can make it work. She's a mom, she says, so she has to. I'm Ryan Delaney, St. Louis Public Radio.
Our Maria Altman edited that report. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio, music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.